Move over, kids.
We are.
How are you doing today? It is 10 o'clock, my time, actually. I think it's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and it's the weekly podcast. How is everyone doing today? I think I figured it out, everybody. If you've been watching, I think this is episode 11. I just named it weekly podcast in case I ever get that problem again. I don't want it to be week 9 podcast for 5 weeks in a row again. But I think I figured it out. I think I did it. Oh, man. It's clear sailing from here, people. But, William, hello. Let's just go. William, hello. Devin. We missed you last week, Devin. And David, how are you guys doing today? Just shout it out. What's up? David.
I had a lot of work and made cookies for my coworkers the other day.
Cookies for your coworkers? Are we considered coworkers yet? Because I wouldn't mind getting some cookies.
I could probably make another batch at some point and send them out.
Just mail them out. Get it all stale and crushed by the UPS.
Oh my god.
That would be strange just having them arrive just a big powder.
I'm like, William, I think you sent this to the wrong person.
You sent dehydrated cookies.
Yeah, right. You know, breaking bad right here. What's up, Devin?
Not too much. Like I said, my new job is just zapping the energy from me, but luckily being able to play Dark Souls last night made me at least a little better.
Man, Dark Souls, like, it calmed you down. Shouldn't that game stress you out? It's like one of the hardest games ever of the modern age, I guess.
It kind of does, but I don't know. I used to absolutely hate Dark Souls, but once I started playing the third one, I started to like it again. Okay, so you like Dark Souls because of the third one. I've got it, but I have yet to open it. Oh, man. Let's see. And then, of course, with Dark Souls, sorry, David. David was talking about how he's jealous that we were able to snag these. This is a GameStop exclusive. Look at that. Okay, now you can dual screen it. That's right there. Let me put on my screen so you can see the packaging. Look at this packaging. It is, like, really cool. I don't know. Like, what are all the other packagings? It just seems like this one's really intense or a little different for some reason in regards to its packaging, and I just really like it. Well, I think mostly because, like, all the other amiibo that we've seen are, like, all Nintendo related, and they're kind of, like, on the childish side. This is, like, kind of bloody and creepy in a way. Guess what? I just noticed this, and this is kind of sad. Is Jordan here? I haven't got my comments up yet. Because Jordan, JR Magician? Yeah, JR Magician is here. He's here.
All right, JR, look at this. JR is our resident Wii U expert. In fact, his, I believe I've got the Wii U's newsletter, which actually number 2 is featuring Devin. Number 1 features me and David. We are, there's a link, and you can just download it directly off of Dropbox. But look at this. Look at this. I think this is the first amiibo. Can you tell me what I'm thinking of? The first amiibo that doesn't have something on it. Can you guess it?
The Wii U?
The Wii U. The Wii U is not present on this amiibo. Every single other amiibo, of the last year or so, has released with a 3DS, a Wii U, and a Switch case on it. But this is the first.
I think because you remember when they reprinted Link?
Yeah.
I think when the reprint of Link had no Wii U on it.
No,
as well.
I actually got that because it was a reprint and I want all the variants because I'm a dummy. That actually has the Wii U on it, I remember.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah, so I might be interested. Do you have a Detective Pikachu, maybe? Maybe Detective Pikachu. This is all breaking news, people. Breaking news right now. There is no Wii U on the Dark Souls amiibo. Is the Wii U? This is one... I keep hearing the final nail in the coffin, but it looks like they figured out another way to nail into the Wii U coffin here.
I was looking to see where my Detective Pikachu is. I don't see where he is at the moment. I was going to check.
All right, but...
I do have my Detective Pikachu.
Let's see it. What does it say? Is the Wii U on it? Oh, no Wii U! Oh, I'm an idiot. Looks like I'm just an idiot. Okay, so...
It's all good.
I was for sure. Okay, so Detective Pikachu might be the first one then. Okay, but there you go. The Wii U is now completely off the packaging of amiibos, even though there is going to be a new
Wii U game coming out, a physical, and I'm not just talking Just Dance. Limited Run Games has something that is going to be coming out. I guess they saved some game from the Abyss and whatever.
Oh my god. Ken, I thought I misunderstood you there, and I thought you said Limited Run Game was releasing Amiibo, and I'm like, oh my god,
no. Man, that would be horrible. That would be horrible.
Don't. I'm still chomping at the bit to get my Night Trap, man.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what Limited Run Games is, basically it's a company that will literally produce limited runs of games. Let me see if I got one here. It just takes these like little indie darlings and pretty much produces them. Here's the first one they did on the Switch. They produced them at a very limited run. Usually there's a collector's edition for like 3,000 or 5,000, and then with the Switch, they've actually been taking pre-orders. So no matter what, though, you're gonna probably get a print run of 10 to 20,000 at the highest. So these will always be marketable. However, it's kind of like I am with Zelda. Once you start producing like limited editions on a mass scale, you kind of just say, you know what, forget it. And that's how I am right now. I only get the ones that I really, really want. And so that's that. David, I don't think I've heard from you yet. What's up, man? As he drinks coffee. Cheers.
What's up, guys? Last night I watched Scott Pilgrim for the first time in like years.
Oh, I love that movie.
Awesome.
Yeah, we saw that in the theater when it came out.
Yeah, I did too. It was like 2010. But
Scott Pilgrim, you're talking the one that fights like his ex-girlfriend, or like his girlfriend's exes?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was late last night, but I was cracking up because it's like I missed so many things the first time around.
Oh,
and
yeah, that one's definitely watchable.
I appreciate it more. It's really funny.
You know what?
As far as games, though, man, I haven't really been able. I was gonna play a little bit of Black Ops last night, but there was like a 12 gig update, and I was like, forget it. I'm good.
Okay. Asset Patel, man. Asset Patel, he's talking about. I'm reading now all the comments. Smash JT is in the house. Oh, what's up, my man? How are you? Smash JT, actually, if you guys don't know, he does every Friday, he does a news type cast. He actually will tackle controversial issues I'm too afraid to attack. He'll like be like, is this person out of touch and stuff like that. So if anybody wants Smash JT, his channel, give it a look see. But still, Patel, he put a couple links for Zelda stuff for me, and so this guy, I don't know if he's in cahoots with Nintendo or just trying to make me broke. But you know what I watched on Netflix? It's not video game related, but you guys should watch it. The Dragon Prince. This is a really good. It's an animated. I don't know where it falls. It's not an anime. It's based off a comic book. It's just really good. I'm in episode 5 or 6 right now, and the humor is just really unique. It's like, I don't even know. It's just a really good. It's really good, and I would highly recommend it. And you can watch it with your kiddos if you so desire. But it's not like it's way more adult than, let's say, Pokemon, though, you know, because at a certain age, a lot of people, they kind of cash out on Pokemon, even though it just kind of always stays the same. And but I'm not saying adults can't watch it. I mean, I'm actually watching it for the Pokemon series for the first time with my kids, because I didn't watch it when I was younger, and I'm actually really enjoying Pokemon. But Dragon Prince, totally across the board, young, old, anybody can watch it.
Well, there's a new Pokemon movie that's going to be in theaters next month. So my wife and I already have tickets to go see it.
Yeah, what's it about?
It's just one of your average movies for it. I think they're introducing a new legendary in it.
Oh, cool. Riley was not a big fan of Dragon Prince. Well, not me. I'm a huge fan of that one. But I've only watched 5 or 6 episodes, so I guess it still has time to fail. But
I think that's the one that my wife was checking out to see if she liked it.
Yeah, I would be interested. If you get any, I'd be interested to talk about that if anything else. And JR Magician, ooh, he has a Nintendo sin. JR has just confessed a Nintendo sin. Never played a full Pokemon game. I'm gonna do a video about Nintendo sins and
like not playing Kirby, Ken.
Yeah, Kirby, not playing Kirby. However, that has changed because I'm in the midst of Star Allies or whatever the Switch one is. So you
Okay.
can, like
Okay,
that,
good.
I'm in the process.
Tell us about it, Ken.
I have repented.
What's your hot take on Kirby so far?
So far, I like it. It's pretty easy, but I also kind of knew beforehand it was going to be, so it's not like, you know, it's kind of like Dark Souls. You know beforehand it's going to be super hard. You kind of like, all right, I'm a little more prepared for it. And same with Kirby. So I don't really want to give too much of a hot take on it. Let me just give a lukewarm take right now that it's just so far so good. And I'm trying to really keep my expectations down because you got to remember, this is a character I've heard about for 20 plus years, and I'm finally getting to it, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know. So I don't get that experience of when I, you know, playing that N64 version, this, that. So I have to try to, like, you know, figure it out.
What's your favorite copy of it?
Sorry. David,
oh, go ahead, Devin. Sorry.
All right, but Ken, if you get the chance, get out your Nintendo 64 and play Kirby Crystal Shards.
Yep.
That one's my favorite.
Yep.
I'll just wait for the Virtual Console to come out on the Switch, right?
Well,
oh, can of worms.
Let's see.
What's your favorite copy ability, Ken?
I'm not even
There has to be one where you're like, man, this is so cool.
I'm not sure. I really haven't even played that much, man. I'm not even joking when I say I cracked it open. I was basically, when I was doing my... Okay, so earlier in the week, I did a 25 satisfying moments, and I thought to myself, I need to put a Kirby thing in. I know there has to be a Kirby satisfying moment, and then I thought to myself, well, can it really be a satisfying moment if I've never played a Kirby game? So I had this philosophical debate in my head that like nobody probably would have done. And so I was like, well, I got this Kirby game because it was on sale at Best Buy for like $40. And then I had the Gamers Reward thing, so it became like $32. So I opened it up, I played a couple things real quick, and then I kind of just started Googling satisfying moments of Kirby games, and I came up with a scene. I thought it had to at least be from the game that I played. I wish you would have asked this, because now I feel kind of like dumb explaining my reasoning for all of this. But that's how I think. And so, and it was a toss-up between, I guess, the little rat creature hamster. When it goes idle, it will like sleep or something, and it sleeps for a very long time. And I almost put that in because I was able to really see that. So I kind of cheated in regards to, I didn't really experience that satisfying moment firsthand, but I watched it a bunch, and I could see how it would have been satisfying, so I threw it in there. Does that make sense? I have very little time under my belt. I pretty much only played Kirby long enough to say, all right, I'm not, I don't know, plagiarizing an idea. I don't even know.
Right.
Oh, you were asking. I'm like, crap. I don't have to explain this. My people are gonna think I'm a psycho. So you tell me, what's your favorite Kirby moment from Switch?
Oh man, I think my favorite boss from the Kirby series is Krako. He's a cloud that's like he's like a cloud with one eyeball in the middle, with spikes around, and in this one he actually like turns really dark and like creates like thunderstorms and rain. And the way they animated him in this one was really good. It was like when he throws down lightning bolts from his body, the whole screen goes dark and you only see the lightning bolt, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it seem really threatening, like, holy crap, this isn't a Kirby game, you know, you're gonna get zapped. But I think that's probably my favorite moment. And my favorite copy ability is probably the bell. He wears like this huge like bell on his head, and he's got like two bells as like maracas.
Do you think that, okay, so Kirby has the green hat and the sword, which, you know, it has to, I mean, and the fact that it is Nintendo, do you think that's Link's hat and Master Sword, or do you think it's just paying homage to it?
It's definitely homage to it. I think it's just they're just being cheeky about it.
Okay.
Because when he gets the hammer ability, that's actually King Dedede's hammer. So, but he's there. You know, in Japanese culture, there's those hammersmiths where they like would wear like this type of like kind of like Julius Caesar, but the Japanese version, it's like this little like tie rope thing.
Uh-huh.
And so it pays homage to like Japanese culture, but the hammer he uses is King DDD's. So
Okay. Because there was a, I go for anything Zelda, so there was a moment in time where I was like, is this Link's? And I had to really think about it. I had to, I was like, I didn't want to start buying everything Kirby because of a stupid green hat. But I was close. Because there have been times where I've actually bought things based upon the fact that, like, for example, Golden Sun. In the Game Boy Advance game, there's actually, hackers have taken apart that game and basically found that there is a Link sprite in the game. A sprite being what would you call a sprite? The game character? The art for the game character?
The character.
The character. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Link actually could be found in the code, meaning at one point Link was going to be in the Golden Sun game. Probably, something, some kind of stupid little cameo. And well, anyways, I went then and bought it. And even though he doesn't appear in the game, the fact that he is coded in the game made me buy Golden Sun. And so for a moment, I was like, do I need to buy all the Kirby stuff because of that stupid hat? Yeah. I didn't. But the Triforce does appear in one of the game, in a 3DS game or something. And I actually did buy that. And it's called the Triforce, or I don't know. Man, you guys.
Then Link also appears in Mario RPG as well.
Yes, he does. In fact, he's actually Nintendo actually. I have proof of a time where Nintendo actually counted that as some kind of an appearance, like not just a cameo or a one-off or a whatever. They counted it as an appearance. Hang on a second, you guys talk. I'm gonna go get something. I actually opened. It's for a mail call video that's not gonna air in like 2 weeks or something because I just had so much stuff I had to start opening things, and so I tried to open my mail and then pretty much drop the video, but I just had to open it and here, just talk about something. You guys talk about I don't know. What do you guys think about that Diablo Switch bundle? Anyone?
I won't be picking it up, but it looks interesting. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
I was not expecting that at all. I think that is very.
They put the devil on it.
It kind of makes me think what their budget is for artwork on the Switch, because if you look at the artwork that's on the dock, and is it the Joy-Cons? It's kind of in the same gray monochrome scheme as like the Smash stuff. So it kind of makes you think like, hey, if they're gonna make custom Switches, and even the Pokemon Let's Go, the Pikachu and Eevee, wait, those are colored though, right?
Yeah, the Pikachu is yellow and the Eevee's all brown. The Smash one is just kind of like got that whitish gray artwork on it. Otherwise, that's it. I'm pretty sure the Pikachu one and the Eevee one's the only one that has actual color to it.
I think Japan has the Monster Hunter only exclusive, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a Monster Hunter one. I think that's it, actually. There's Monster Hunter. There's a Labo one that 2 people got, so that one almost doesn't count.
So I was at the fair a couple weeks ago with these friends from Instagram, and he showed me the account. I forgot the name. I'm an idiot. He showed me the account of the guy who won the competition for the Labo thing.
Really?
Oh boy.
And it's a Japanese guy, and I forgot he did something really, really, really intricate. I'm sure a simple Google search will help us, but
that's good to know though, because there are people like for me when I'm not gonna go for it. I mean, I guess I wouldn't turn it down if it came up, but when I find out about certain things that were given away by Nintendo that are Zelda related, it's always good to know that there's a paper trail. So that person who posted the Instagram thing of it, somebody could eventually track it down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Didn't you say there's a really rare Zelda NES game? Not game, but a variant.
Yeah, okay, so this was not released in America. There was a Zelda Game Boy SP, and the Game Boy Advance SP was only released, the Zelda version was only released in Europe because the Europeans, they love Zelda. They love Zelda more than the Americans do. And they got this gold Game Boy Advance. But then within all those Game Boy Advances, there were supposedly six winning golden tickets. You know, Willy Wonka golden tickets. Basically, you could take those golden tickets then, cash them in for a 24-karat gold plated Game Boy Advance SP. There was also supposedly one given away in a contest, meaning 7 altogether. But then, Riley, see you later, man. Have a good day. Sorry, hopefully you'll get to catch us a little bit later. But with the Game Boy Advance SP, there were 7 announced or that we could prove were supposedly made. No one has ever seen them live in person. There is a claim that one site sold one before, but I don't buy it. And nobody has ever seen it. Nobody has ever come forward. No one, nothing, nowhere has there ever been found a gold SP or an actual picture of the gold SP. The closest we've got to it being known is a site said they sold it. That's it.
So it's just hearsay at this point.
Yeah, seriously. There's a really good YouTube video on it. I'm going to do a YouTube video on it, but the other one, you know, I probably shouldn't say this, but it's probably going to be better than mine because it was like 3 minutes and it was just like, wow, that was really cool. But he was taking it from a gaming histories, unsolved mysteries standpoint. I'll take it from a Zelda fan standpoint, so.
Yeah. It's almost kind of like the prizes for the Quest games back on the Atari. Yeah. For those who don't know, there was a series of games, like there was the Sword Quest, there was Fire World, Air World. I think there was one that was supposed to be Water World. There was a whole contest with them, and people had to find clues in the game and send information in to the company of what they found in there, and if they won, the winners were flown out. They had to play a different version of the game, find more clues, and the winner of that would take home this big prize. And they had all the prizes lined up for each of the contests. There was going to be the 4 games. They did 2 of the contests. The 3rd and 4th contests never happened, and the 4th game never got made. So some of those prizes no one can find them.
Yeah, and they're crazy prizes. It's like the chalice of King Arthur and stuff like that. Maybe a literal Holy Grail and stuff like that. I mean, these were crazy prizes. If you see, I don't know if it was in the movie because I've yet to watch the movie, but I read the book, Ready Player One. It's actually referred to in Ready Player One, the book, and just a really cool factoid of gaming history. I mean, can you imagine? Like, let's just fly people out, and it was the a day before social media and all this stuff, so it couldn't have got that much press for how much time and effort they put in. And those prizes used to be like dang good. They used to be really good.
Yeah. So I just looked up what the prizes were.
Okay.
So Earthworld, there was a talisman. It was an 18-karat gold disc inlaid with diamonds and gemstones.
What?
Fireworld was the Chalice of Light. It was made of
Chalice
gold
of
and platinum inlaid with a variety of jewels. Waterworld was the Crown of Life, a solid gold crown covered with gemstones. And Airworld was going to be the Philosopher's Stone, an 18-karat gold box encrusted with gemstones.
Can you imagine that? Like,
so I think it was the stone.
That's off
the stone and the crown have never been seen. Well, they've been seen at that one when they showed them, but they were never given away. Like, no one knows where they are now.
And I don't know if this is true or not. I don't even know where I heard it, so I'm hesitant to say it because I don't want it to it get ingrained in someone's mind and then it becomes fact. But I want to say that one's been destroyed. It was like melted down or pawned off.
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be an urban legend, or it might not be. But oh man, those literally, one's a holy grail.
Yeah.
So this is what I was talking about earlier, where I said, "Oops, sorry about that."
There was a sword too. The final contest was a sword. The sword hasn't been found yet either.
I want them all. If anybody has any clues on them, let me know. This is a Joyride action figure, and on the Joyride action figure, you open it up, and it lists all of Link's appearances right here, and it goes Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Super Mario RPG. So at one point,
and this is like a Nintendo Power thing. So at one point, the Nintendo Power people literally wrote up Link's appearances and included Super Mario RPG in it. Now, yeah, I mean, it's definitely Link and Samus, actually, in Super Mario RPG, but they're sleeping, and it's kind of more of a, you know, Super Mario RPG is kind of a funny, a humorous, a Mario Luigi type RPG thing. So, you know, you kind of like, whatever's in it, you don't take this canon. But at one point, the Nintendo Power people took Link's appearance there as canon. I thought that was interesting.
That is cool.
So, what else going on? Hey, did you guys hear about that? What's that stupid phone that is trying to compete with the Switch?
I know what you're talking about. I can't say the name, though.
Yeah, I didn't go look it up.
It's
Huawei.
What is it?
Huawei.
Huawei,
yeah.
Okay, so what he said. Do you guys know anything about this?
Not at all.
I know it's huge in China. My friend has a Huawei. It's called the Huawei Honor.
Uh-huh.
And just the name alone is so bad butt. Sorry.
It's like Dr. Light trying to pronounce Dr. Wily's name in Mega Man 8. When we find that video, we'll find Dr. Huawei.
That's great. I will say this. Okay, so I got to give credit to not exactly SpawnWave, but SpawnWave's one of his commenters. So the basic gist of this is there's a cell phone out there, and it compared itself, interesting, to the Nintendo Switch. And that's interesting because it's a cell phone. The Nintendo Switch is not a cell phone. So everybody's like, oh my gosh, why are you trying to get into... you're trying to get into video gaming, you'll never make it, blah, 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 blah. You're dumb, you're stupid, and you're $1,000. Nobody would ever, why would we pay $1,000 when we can have the Switch? And that's all true. It's all true until I heard this comment, and it made sense to me, especially after David just said this. The person said, they're not comparing it to the Switch to compete with the Switch in America. They're actually doing it to compete with the Switch in China. The Chinese really want a Nintendo Switch, but because of the government and regulations and blah, 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 this and that, they haven't been able to really get their hands on the Switch unless it's kind of like the aftermarket or probably Hong Kong or something like that. But the mainland China doesn't really have access to a Nintendo Switch even though they want it. So for this phone company to then say, and they're already big in China, like David said, for them to then compare it to the Switch, well, now that makes sense because they're actually targeting the 1.4 billion people in China and not necessarily the 450 million people in America. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sheds a whole new light on that because everybody has been just totally making fun of this company, and now I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty smart. Plus, they've got attention, and no bad press, or no press is bad press. I don't know, maybe this one is a little bit, but I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe some people will pick it up just for that fact.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, Huawei is a whole different beast in China. It's like the iPhone and Samsung here essentially. It's when you got a country of like over 1 billion, 2 billion people. I mean, at that point, people are at the palm of your hand essentially. So if they already have an established install base of people that like Huawei products and use Huawei's service, then them putting out like a gaming centric device is probably could be super successful for them.
Yeah, it's probably going to be crazy. Christian, why is no one in here playing BO4 Zombies?
Black Ops 4.
Black Ops 4.
Hey,
BO4.
Christian, I would play it if I didn't have to spend $60 for a game where 80% of the game I'm not even going to touch. I can't stand the normal Black Ops anymore. I only like the zombies.
I heard. Well, wait like 3 weeks. Isn't that one of those games that will drop in price like hard?
Oh, it probably will.
Although,
I mean, Personally, I've always wanted them as like Treyarch or whoever's still making that game to release just a game devoted to the zombies part of the game, and I would buy that up in a second, but they haven't done it.
Christian, what kind of, like, how much of the game is it? Really like 20% of the game, or how is it? Like, what's the premise? Is this all multiplayer online, and you're just like with a couple buds, just, you know, killing a bunch of zombies in a mall? Like, what's going on with this?
Well, have you ever played Left 4 Dead, Ken?
Yeah, a long time ago, though, so just pretend I haven't.
Basically the same thing. I mean, you have generally 4, I think it only goes up to 4, and you fight off hordes of zombies and see how long you can last.
Okay, so there's no, like, end game, really. You just, like,
There actually is, I think. I've never actually gotten to it, but they've devoted a little bit more storyline into them lately.
Okay. Black Ops is like PUBG. Oh, is that the... Okay, so that's the new one? Is that... No, I thought Call of Duty was doing a Battle Royale now. Is that true, or...
No, I think he's saying that this thing called Blackout. It's Blackout. It might be like a PUBG style game.
Yeah, it's Blackout is strictly Call of Duty's answer to PUBG and Fortnite's Battle Royale.
Okay. It won't take out Fortnite, but it could take out PUBG. Only
I think it's putting when you look at the totem pole now, I think PUBG is really towards the bottom now. I think they had kind of like this crazy fall.
I kind of feel bad for them, even though I've never really played. Like, I played Fortnite a little bit, but I kind of feel bad for PUBG because weren't they kind of out first, and they were definitely better? Like, I don't mean, like, I'm not really, like, trying to judge it on, like, which one's better, blah, 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 but, like, the graphics, the this, the that, everything, and, I mean, it's kind of like the Dreamcast, you know? I mean, I preferred Nintendo over the Dreamcast, but the Dreamcast just died such a horrible death when it was, like, a good product, you know?
It kind of suffered the same thing as Dreamcast, in which the Dreamcast failed not because of the quality of the games, but because of the management of the company. And I think PUBG is the same way. It had poor management because, first of all, the engine was super, super, super buggy, especially on the Xbox One version.
Yeah.
Because the Microsoft partnership was like, hey, you're going to be our main selling point for the next year or so.
Yeah.
And when the game released, it was super buggy, crashed all the time. It didn't bring in as many people as they thought. And then Fortnite just kind of took off. They kind of expanded on everything that PUBG didn't excel in. So it's like they were just shafted, dude. They were shafted for the entire thing. And it's like, and then with Black Ops coming out, with the release of Black Ops, it almost feels like the final nail in the coffin. But
yeah.
But Fortnite has kind of just been like a completed game for a while. They've just been adding things as they go. PUBG was on game preview up until, like, I don't know, last month or something like that. It was on, at least on the Xbox. It's been a completed game on the PC forever. So game preview on the Xbox, everybody was like beating it to death, saying, "Well, why do we have to do this?" And blah 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 blah. It's completed on the PC, so I think it got kind of screwed over from being on the Xbox entirely.
Yeah, I think about it because I've done things. I've tried to get my name out there and all these things, and I've made mistakes here and there. But can you imagine you're a company? You have a better product visually, this, that, the whatever, but different. It's different, so it's hard to fully do a comparison, apple to oranges, whatever. But you get an opportunity. Xbox, one of the major 3 companies, says we're going to give you a buttload of money to just be an exclusive, and you still get to charge for your game. And you're like, that sounds like a really good deal. And your competition is just this free to play game, whatever, so. And you just get destroyed by them. And it seems like, business-wise, it seems like you made the right call. You're charging for a game, you're not giving it away. You sign an exclusive deal, and you'll still get to go to the other consoles eventually. So it just seems like, that's why I feel bad for them. It seems like they did everything that is, quote-unquote, in the box, right, correct, and they just failed. I feel bad for them as, like, people, I guess. Like, they gotta live with that. Now, I guess I shouldn't feel too bad for them. They probably made a buttload of money and can just produce something else. So whatever.
Yeah.
Very true.
Did you guys see the new Mario skin?
Oh, the zombie?
Yeah, that thing looked cool.
Oh yeah.
I like the Mario skins.
Man, I'll tell you what. Can you believe there's a zombie Mario? Nintendo released a Mario with an axe in his head.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I need to get a better look at that.
Dude, it is crazy what Nintendo is willing to do nowadays. I just cannot believe it. A devil on the dock, an axe in Mario's head. They straight up eviscerate Luigi. You know, it's like, what, what won't Nintendo do? And it's coming out that there is some kind of Sony now is censoring things that Nintendo is not. There's some game out there right now. I can't remember the name of it, whatever. But and I don't.
Yeah, Senran Kagura is being censored.
Senran Kagura.
Yeah.
Is it like just like kind of nudity or something like that? That's being censored?
I think they're taking out one of the features in it. I didn't look up a lot of stuff on it. I just saw people complaining about it.
But
is it the massage thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, either way, and I'm not like condoning that because that's something that doesn't sound like, you know, that I want to really do or like participate in, and it would actually probably be something that would make me not really want to play the game. However, the fact of the matter is Nintendo is the one not censoring it. Now, Nintendo's probably not going to like make a big deal of it like they did with the cross-play with Microsoft, but like I said, they're not censoring it. There's an axe in Mario's head. The devil is now on a Nintendo Switch console. They gave and they gave Ganondorf to that. And what about Starlink? That's another thing. And also Mario Rabbids. The fact that they're literally handing over the keys to the kingdom to other publishers.
They're playing nice.
Cool. I love Starlink. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I want to know more about that game. Is it fun? Is it interesting?
What's his name? RGT85 put a video up saying that it's basically the Star Fox game we've always wanted. And it really kind of is. It's a lot of fun. I think it's very interesting that you can pop the ships off and like the parts can come off and you can flip them any way you want. And it's kind of like, have you ever played Destiny?
Yeah.
And No Man's Sky?
Yep.
Both of those games had a baby.
Really?
Aww.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think it's a lot of fun, and especially I really like the ship. I think it's cool looking, and the Star Fox figure that it comes with is pretty interesting.
And wait, actually, I want to see it. Do it again.
All right.
Camera's not great. I can't really see it.
So it's not exactly incredibly detailed, but I think it's a neat little miniature.
Okay, wait a second. What happens when you have the ship on it, or just Fox? Because like, what does just Fox do without the ship?
I haven't done that yet. I know that you can take the ship off mid-game and like pop another on. I don't have another ship to try that out though.
No, but what about just Fox being? Oh, wait a second. Oh, Fox is just there, and you put the ship over him.
Yes, yeah. You it's got like a little chip in the bottom right there, and then you connect it to the dock, so you just kind of pop it over top of them, and then there it runs like that. And the Joy-Con actually slip into the dock thing.
And you play the Joy-Con as it's mounted on it?
Yeah. It's kind of hard to see, but you can put your hands in right there. The only thing is like the R-Wing has these parts that can, I think it's more for display purposes, but if you have it down, it kind of blocks your thumbs. So
okay.
I think it's more just for display. But I think it's a really neat looking thing. And even some of the weapons have like an LED in them. So I think that's cool because when you turn on the game, the LEDs light up and everything. So I think it's really neat.
Oh my god. Just imagine a custom Robo game where you could like put your Robo on your Joy-Con.
That would be legit. I would love to see that again.
Is it the best Star Fox game of all time?
And for what I've played, I wouldn't say the best, but it's definitely like a cool Star Fox game just because he's even there.
What's better?
What's up?
Because I heard this isn't just like a Fox skin. I heard it's a straight up Fox is incorporated in the game so much that this is almost a separate game. And Wolf is in it, the bad guys, everything. It's a straight up Star Fox game, is from what I've been hearing.
I didn't really follow the Starlink part of it, but the Starlink crew runs into Fox's crew because they're chasing after Wolf, as I think they generally always are. And the Starlink crew says, okay, well, can you help us with what we need to do? And then we can help you. And basically they just merge together like that. So the Starlink crew gives them like technology that they didn't normally have. And yeah, Alt, Slippy, the rabbit, I forget his name.
Peppy.
Yeah, Peppy, and the bird. I can't. Falco. Sure.
You gotta know Falco in Smash Brothers. No
excuse for Falco. But they're all there. They all have voice acting too, which I think is also pretty cool. It's definitely a fun game. I was very happy to pick that up. I was kind of hesitant at first, but it's really fun. I also picked up a few of the weapons too. So, and they have like different abilities where this is like a fire cannon. This is kind of like I think it's like a shrapnel cannon of some sort. There's like ice rockets, and I forget what this one does because I don't think I've used it yet.
How much are those?
They're a 2-pack for 10.
2 for 10?
Yeah. But the other thing about the game that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been turned off about it is you can buy it and not even use anything else but what you've received in the box. You can pretty much unlock everything, from what I understand. But I like the fact that you can do this.
Yeah, why is that turning people off? I mean, it kind of implies...
I don't know. I think it's probably the same thing, the reason why like Skylanders failed and all that stuff, because you have to go out and buy all these toys just to be able to use the game. So it was like physical DLC.
I thought you were saying people were upset that you could beat the game without buying more stuff.
No. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
yeah, I can see that, but I mean, it's kind of like what I was talking about earlier. When you walk in knowing this stuff, it's like,
yeah,
you know, and it's, I don't know, the Toys to Life stuff. You know, it's like, it's interesting. It's a new take, and the Toys to Life stuff is pretty much dead. I mean, we're still getting Amiibos, but Amiibos really aren't Toys to Life. They're Nintendo statues.
Yeah, I went ahead and ordered the game from my local Target, the one I actually originally work at, not the one I'm remodeling. Said it still had 3 left, so during this time I went ahead and ordered it.
Oh, okay.
So I can pick it up later today.
William, did you get the Target exclusive ship though? I was actually tempted to buy that.
Was there an exclusive ship?
Yeah. I think it's Levi, the character Levi something, I can't remember his name, but there is one exclusive ship that I know of.
Let me take a look to see if it's listed.
You can only get the R-Wing, right? You can't get Peppy's or...
No, that... Unless they decide to release that later as like a DLC or something, that would be neat.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
Star Fox's R-Wing.
That'd be a great way to get people back in. You drop it 6 months from now, just keep doing this.
Yeah, I don't think... Like, what if they said, okay, here's Samus's ship? I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do that too. Like just the DLC later in life to get people back into the game.
What I wonder is Nintendo seeing somewhat of success of another company taking on one of their IPs essentially and saying, hey, maybe Star Fox's next adventure should be
Ubisoft produced,
developed by Ubisoft, you know?
The way they handled this, I hope they do, because it's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's like how we talked about, was it last week, where Miyamoto, we feel like, should step down from certain creative endeavors like Paper Mario and like things like that. It's like retro. No one did Metroid like retro until I think it's Namco Bandai is doing it now, which is Namco Bandai is hot, man. They are making so many games.
Yeah, they came back out of nowhere, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking care of... Namco Bandai is doing what?
I think they have Dark Souls, don't they?
Dark Souls, yep.
Yeah, they have Tekken, they have Dragon Ball Fighters, they have so many things.
Fun again.
Yeah. So I feel like Nintendo's definitely looking at, you know, kind of playing nice and sharing and maybe maybe they need someone like Ubisoft to kind of take over and make Star Fox, you know, different and more exciting.
Like
Mario Rabbids was a hit. I mean, I liked it, but I wasn't as into it as much other people because I kind of bad at the game. But it was fun. This is also really fun. So this is the second thing that, in my opinion, Ubisoft knocked out of the park. So
yeah, Ubisoft.
And I just don't like the rabbits at all.
Yeah,
well,
I'm not a fan of
rabbits. Are annoying, William. But if you ever get the chance to play the game, it is fun. If you just kind of just don't think of them as those annoying.
Yeah, I've heard the game's fantastic, but I just don't like the rabbits.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy
I hate rabbits too. I hate the rabbits. However, I love strategy games like that, strategy RPGs. So I really devoured it. And to be fair, the rabbits did make me laugh. You know, there was when they were fighting Donkey Kong Rabbit, and he fell, and she was taking some selfie pictures of herself. The Peach Rabbit. I laughed, so they got me. You know, it's really crude toilet humor or whatever, but I laughed, I chuckled. Would I want to play did it make me want to play a solo Rabbids game? No. But the strategy element, yeah, really good.
It's crazy how much the rabbits have taken over and become more popular than like the titular character of Rayman. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I don't like that because Rayman has always been one of my favorite characters, like from back then. And I don't like that he's kind of been overshadowed by these secondary characters. I feel like it's like the same thing from that movie, The Madagascar Penguins.
Oh yeah.
They took away from the original characters that I thought were funny, and then whatever. I like Rayman.
Minions the same way. Like Minions became this offshoot of like Despicable Me, where it's like, and it quickly became like not funny. You know, it's like, I mean, I think my whole family, we went to go watch Minions, and I was done. It was so funny in the beginning, but I was done halfway. I was like, they're not even speaking English. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, it's kind of like a one-trick pony. Moto Bear, what's up, my man? Ubisoft, though, that's another video. I have so many videos that I want to do. That's another one that I want to do, just the relationship and how Ubisoft really, like... I know some people get mad at them when I, like, about certain things and decisions during the Wii U's time, but to me, I feel that Ubisoft stayed with Nintendo even during the Wii U time longer than most would have and even should have. And I think it's really awesome that they are, you know, and I'm not like a huge Ubisoft fan. Like I am, like Assassin's Creed, I don't like that they produce one every 2 years or whatever, and I got disinterested in that series because of this or that. But Ubisoft, yeah, I'm very pro Ubisoft right now because of that.
Yeah, and I want to call it now. I'm hoping that they release some sort of like DLC of maybe like the rest of the Star Fox crew or Samus's ship.
That would be
really
insane.
Want them to do that.
That Samus thing would be insane. Ooh.
I don't see why they wouldn't just be able to add like a DLC chunk and then say, here, go buy the Samus ship.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Because this is definitely, you know, in the Star Fox universe, I don't think there are actually humans. So the fact that Star Fox is here, now, I guess you could say that this could be the way to bring humans into it, but that's if they made this game canon, which I don't think they will because it is available also on Xbox and PlayStation without the Star Fox characters in it. So the fact that this is not canon, Samus can join in the fray just as easily as any fighter can in Smash Brothers because, again, not canon.
I'm trying to think in the Nintendo lore as we know it, what other space-related characters do we have besides Star Fox and Samus? I can't think.
F-Zero? F-Zero?
Oh, F-Zero.
F-Zero, yeah. Kirby.
Well, I mean,
Kirby's
James
right.
McCloud, which is, isn't it Fox's dad? He's a humanoid or whatever?
Yeah, because it's rumored that he went through some sort of warp and ended up in the same universe as F-Zero. So the James McCloud that's in the F-Zero series is actually the same James McCloud from Star Fox.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know
that either.
Also,
yeah, it's a bit of an Easter egg. It's a rumor. They haven't connected them fully. In fact, one of the I think it's the Star Fox Command game. One of the endings you can get involves I think it's Fox and Falco modifying their R-Wings to be racers.
Huh.
Yeah.
I need to look into that a little more because that's very interesting. Moto Bear, we're gonna talk. Let's talk because that is a great idea. The eShop game's coming down, but he also says Rosalina. There's another star character for you, or outer space character.
I don't know.
I
if
was
you
trying to
guys
think
remember.
of the characters that had like a ship. You said
yeah,
Fox has his R-wing. Samus has her whatever that ship is called.
Kirby could just sail around on his star.
Yeah.
So cool.
And then David, that could bring in Kirby Air Ride.
Oh my god. That's, the world needs that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys.
I'm sure Ness could hijack an alien UFO.
Oh, one of the Gygas ships. That would be fun.
Yeah. Oh, Star Tropics.
Star Tropics.
Yeah.
Is that a Nintendo IP?
It is.
Oh, wow.
It's actually, I think it's Nintendo of America.
Nintendo? Oh,
I don't think it got released in Japan.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah. Star Tropics is on the NES Classic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I remember I played that game. There's a scene. There's this, like, pig in it. Spoiler alert, okay? There's a pig in that game. I'm pretty sure it's this game. I can't really, like... And he's with you throughout almost the entire game, and then 3/4 of the way, you get to a village, and you save the village, whatever, and there's, like, a fire, and then the pig, who can actually speak, just straight up jumps in the fire. And I was like, what the heck? And the pig is like, don't worry, this village can now eat me. I will...
Wow.
Maybe that's why I wrote my book. I wrote a bacon book about a pig who wants to be bacon when he grows up. Maybe I just, like, I was channeling that pig when I wrote it. But, oh my gosh, I'm like, it scarred me. I was like, what the heck? My pig! It's just this... I'm pretty sure it was Star Tropics.
I don't know if you
Nick
guys
says he just woke up. He woke up late. That's okay, Nick. I know you were, like, up late searching for your Hallmark Legend of Zelda ornament.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard of that rumor back in like 2015 where the next Star Fox game was going to be, before Zero was announced, that the next Star Fox game was going to be a crossover between Star Fox and Metroid, developed by Retro.
I think that would be legit.
That'd be so
I don't know. I kind of don't want it, to tell you the truth.
But I just had a random thought because we still haven't gotten Metroid 4 or whatever it's supposed to be on the Switch. What if they do that as another thing to kind of revamp Starlink when Metroid 4 comes out?
That would be a good idea. Like, kind of. That would be a really good idea.
I'm getting myself hyped up for something that's not even like, I want that now.
The hype is real. Devin's body is ready.
It basically is.
That would be cool, though. It would be cool, but I don't want it. Because I don't want... I don't see Fox McCloud in Samus's universe with this Ridley. You know? I just don't see it. I don't know. It's not like... I just don't see it.
You can't see Fox and Samus fighting Ridley together is what you're saying.
Yeah. In anything, like, if they were in Starlink, cool. But if Nintendo produced it and it was canon, I just don't.
And then somehow Andros comes in.
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't see it. I want their universes to be separate. I guess. I like when they come together. You know, if they want to do a Mario Kart in space, and it be the R-Wing and Samus and F-Zero and all that, go for it. But I don't want it to be canon.
Or they'll have Fox crash land on a planet, and it's kind of a sequel to what was originally Dinosaur Planet with the Star Fox Adventure, and he's in the world of Animal Crossing. Just call it Animal Planet.
Now that would make more sense to me, actually. Fox being an Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
that's a crossover I want to see.
He just like crashes in a village,
and then he shoots for steady.
Oh gosh. Or
you guys have actually...
You make it a leap year event, so only on the 29th of February does Fox land in Animal Crossing.
But it's like during like it's during like a stargazing event. Everyone's like looking through telescopes, and then like just crashes.
Yes, let's do that.
That'd be funny.
It's like, you guys see that shooting star? It's awfully close, and it just like crashes right on top of him.
Oh yeah, that's how Rossetti dies.
Oh my god. But now with the Nintendo games getting removed, I have no idea about this. I keep hearing about it. What's getting popped off?
NBA. It's that NBA
Playgrounds.
NBA Playgrounds. It's not a game that I necessarily. I don't really do sports games, but I guess think of it as an idea. The idea of a game being removed for a possible reason, as opposed to I don't play sports games. I don't care. So. But I would say, though, if I was to play sports game, I'd rather play this. I'd rather play an unrealistic, cartoony sports game as opposed to a hyper-realistic sports game, because I probably, and this is just a personal preference, I would probably just rather play the real thing if I was going to be playing something hyper-realistic.
Me too.
But
when it comes to Playgrounds, though, it reminds me of NBA Jam.
Exactly. Boom shakalaka!
He's on fire!
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. Speaking of
I miss NBA Jam.
That announcer is going to be the announcer on Mutant Football League, which comes out December 30th. But that's besides the point. So NBA Playground 2 recently came out, and then mysteriously NBA Playgrounds 1 disappeared off the eShop. And the running theory is that basically they took off NBA Playground 1, which is only a digital exclusive game, by the way. They took it off the eShop and other places so people would buy NBA Playgrounds 2. And the second one has a lot more microtransactions, I've heard, as well. Now, we can tackle it from a microtransaction point of view, or let's just pretend there are no microtransactions, because at the end of the day, a game was taken off to sell more of number 2. And, like, how do you guys feel about that? Because it's like, why? Now, if you have downloaded it before and it's not on your Switch anymore, well, you do have access to re-download it, so it's not completely, and people who have it, they can still play, blah, blah, blah. It's not been, like, erased from existence, but me, myself, I could not go and buy it right now. And what do you guys think of that? It's a digital game that has been taken away.
Well, I see it 2 different ways, but go ahead.
No, I was just saying, in my opinion, if it's because of the microtransaction thing, that's shady. I don't like that at all. But it could have been something kind of like, well, if it's actually confirmed that it's that, then whatever. But maybe like when they took off the Scott Pilgrim game off the PS3, I love that game. But that was all because of like copyrights or something like that they had to pop that off. So, I don't know. I guess it really depends on why they actually did it.
Let's take it from the premise of nothing copyrighted, not the copyright issue, and not a microtransaction issue. It's all we know, and it was probably an issue of them just wanting to sell number 2 more.
There's also the situation where there are people that will only buy that year's sports game. So I'm wondering if they thought, well, people are already not going to buy the first one anyways because the second one is out, so might as well take it off the eShop. And then every other reason you can think of could naturally fall into place.
But what about the fact that, like, this is a straight-up game that they just took away? You know, is this just another reason that we have to have physical editions because we are at the whim of the developers and their digital downloads or whatever?
That's like what you were saying a while ago with that, because like say they took off, I don't even know what's like Night Trap, and it didn't actually get a physical like we were saying, and people really wanted to play it, and then it disappeared and it's gone forever. So it's one of those things. I'm trying to get to the point here. I can't really think of what I'm trying to say, but you get what I'm saying, Ken, right?
I do get what you're saying. Nick, we'll talk about that in a second, the Mutant Football League. What about you, David? What's your take? Hot take?
I don't know. I like video game preservation, so like I look at sometimes older titles where you have like beta versions of games that were never, beta games back then weren't widespread like they are now, where like, you get invited to a beta or a closed beta. And I think that preservation, you know, these people that like data mine and like rip games, the ROMs or whatever, I think that's good for the community. But when a game like this is like, it's people won't be able to play it anymore. I mean,
well, they can play it still if they bought it previously.
But new players won't be able to jump into that title, right?
No.
So I mean, I guess at this point, specifically NBA Playgrounds, it depends how big of an NBA fan you are if you really have a hankering to play that game. But yeah, I mean, no matter what, there's a fan out there that wants to play the game. So
there's just someone. What if someone buys the second one? They love it so much they want to play the first one because again, it is not like NBA 2K17, NBA 2K18, where it's just an updated roster and maybe a different kind of single player mode. This is a video game with the boom shakalaka guy, and it's gonna be like Mario 3. If I play Mario 3, maybe I'll want to go back and play Mario 1. So it's kind of along those lines of an actual, over the top video game.
Yeah, and like maybe someone wanted to play the first one because LeBron James was with the Cavs in that first one, and then with this new one, maybe he's with the Lakers now. So I guess there are some differences there to justify it.
So what do you think though of it? What conclusion do you actually come to when I say that this company took off just out of nowhere? They didn't even give an announcement. They released number 2, and then they took number 1 off of the eShop. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it makes me think what kind of caused that level of thinking to be like, let's just kind of shadow remove this title. It kind of makes you think, this is the definitive version we want people to play. We don't want them to buy the other one. I don't know. It's kind of
as a fan though, like, what's the implications even? William, jump in. Do you what are the implications of this? Because now, what if Bandai does something like this, or what if this happens or that happens? There have been games that have been taken down because of copyrights, like Scott Pilgrim. That's different. That's out of our control. There was a meme runner for the Wii U taken down because of whatever, out of our control. But this game was voluntarily taken down, seemingly to push the sales of number 2.
Yeah, it's a sports title, so I kind of see it in a different light. Whereas the other games, like, people are always going to want to grab the other games in the series. But I'm just wondering if something like this, people are like, well, the second one is out. It's a sports game. It's an updated roster. Why do we want the previous one? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it kind of has a different view in that sense. But I mean, if there was still interest in the first one, then I could see there being an issue with it.
I also kind of see it as like at the end of the day, who's the publisher for this?
I'm not exactly sure.
Is it 2K?
I don't even want to say I don't think so. I have no idea.
Maybe it's an offshoot of 2K where it's like 2K something, but it's I also think of it as like, just the corporate big heads that are trimming the fat. They're trying to just kind of like consolidate a little bit, and they want to just.
Which seems like they're getting rid of money though. It's like it's already up there. It's not even like Nintendo has. Nintendo, people say Nintendo just doesn't like money because they don't have Legend of Zelda up on their eShop, but they would actually have to put effort to put it into the eShop. Right now, this company put effort to take it down from the eShop.
Let me just make a comparison. I think like if you like just from a sports fan perspective.
But remember also, this is a video game over the top sports game, not a updated version necessarily.
Right. Yeah, and that's what makes it harder. But looking at it, it's like, okay. So for example, my cousins, they love FIFA and 2K and Madden and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And there is always every year there's always like a limbo period where it's like, hey, do I spend $60 on FIFA 18 or do I wait 2 months until FIFA 19 comes out? It's the same price, uh, albeit when 19 comes out, 18 takes like a huge dip in price, but you're playing an outdated game, so with an outdated roster, and unless you're a big Cristiano Ronaldo fan when he played in Real Madrid, then maybe that warrants you to be like, you know what, I want 18 as well. So it's kind of tough, but at the same time, it's like it's an offshoot. It's like a quirky sports game, so it's like maybe I just want to play the first one because it had different mechanics or something like that, So it's like it's kind of messy. There's a lot of layers to it. And I know it can easily be dismissed as just a sports title, like it's just a sports game, whatever, but at the end of the day, it's a video game, right? So I don't even know if I really answered your question, but that's kind of my take on it.
I'm not sure if you did either, but there's not really I don't really know, because this is a weird one. I think you answered it with the many layers, actually. It's hard to say. What scares me about it, the implications to me, is that basically, especially if we become an all-digital video game world eventually, and you can argue that, that'll never happen because I like my physicals, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't know. If you were to tell me our graphics would be this good 30 years ago, I would not have believed you at all.
Yeah.
And even 20 years ago, or 15, maybe 10.
Well, even look at like Nier, the game Nier, the series Nier. Nier and Nier Automata. Like Nier Automata was a great success. It came to the Xbox One as a digital only title, I think. And there's a lot of fans that are actually finding themselves going back to play Nier 1. But Nier 1 is actually kind of pricey, and it's a PS3 title. So it's like, yeah, you're right, Ken, in which, if the second one stirs up a lot of interest, then people will go back and kind of check out the anthology of the series.
Yeah, and that's how Nintendo still has people. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people. I have a friend who was like, he's like 19 or 20 now, but when he became like an apprentice or something at my work, and he's like 15, 16, and he's talking to me about all these old games. He eventually had to go back and figure out how to play old games and stuff. And the implications of something like this, even though, it's like some dumb sports game, whatever, and I'm not saying that in a way that if you actually enjoyed the game or sports games, I'm not calling them all dumb. I'm just saying that mindset is that, well, what if they take down Child of Light? The Child of Light is only an Ubisoft only right now, I believe, digital for the Nintendo. What if that just disappears? And so the ability to play certain games all the time. What if, like Devin was saying, Limited Run Games had stepped in and produced a physical copy of Night Trap, and then one day Nintendo finds out that a long time ago they promised that the game would never be on the system. Then they're like, well, take it off the eShop. Well, then it's gone forever. And there are a couple games that have been gone forever for me. When the 3DS was originally released and they were celebrating the anniversary of Zelda, they released a Four Swords game on the 3DS, and it was only available for a month or two. And you could only download it. And it was free, though. It was free, but once that month was up, gone. And then when they celebrated Link to the Past, or Link Between Worlds, and they re-released it again. But again, this little short amount of time, then gone. Well, I lost my 3DS. Someone stole it from me, and I had that game on it. So I actually had to then go and buy a 3DS off eBay that had the digital copy already installed on the 3DS. And it's just like, that's the problem with being able to just, it's their IPs, they can do whatever they want, but that's the problem with just putting the digital game on, because they can just take it off
any second. And that's to me the scary part. And Nintendo kind of has or does do that. And they did it. And then there's video game preservation. But on the flip side, that argument of video game preservation then becomes the shield behind people just illegally downloading stuff and making hacks or ROMs of games that are readily available, and that's when it's like that's the it's kind of like this is why we can't have nice things, people. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So I don't think there's a clear. I think it just sucks. I would just say it sucks they took it down. That's my answer.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Changing gears a bit, if you guys are cool with it. You guys want to talk about, I know, Ken, you might not want to talk about controversial topics, but the whole, like, Rockstar thing, do you want to talk about that?
Yes, let's talk about it. I don't mind controversial topics, actually, as long as, I think the four of us will be respectful about it. I would be afraid if the chat got a little upset, but certain controversial topics I don't mind speaking on. But one thing I would like to address before we go, Nick actually asked, anyone heard about Mutant League, the football game coming back? Yes, actually, Nick, let me just address this before we get to Rockstar so I don't forget. Nick, I actually did a video on it, I don't know, a month or two back. I have spoken with the actual creator of the game. This is a football game. It's, it's a bunch of mutants actually playing football games. So you got like the undead people playing, and there's bombs and booby traps. You can bribe the referee. It's actually a callback to Mutant League Football. That was a Genesis game back in the day. It even had a cartoon and a toy series. There was a spin-off with Mutant League Hockey, and there was supposed to be a basketball game, but it never came to. Well, anyways, that dude kept producing games. He launched a Kickstarter. It failed. Then he launched another one. It succeeded. He released Mutant Football League, about a year ago, digital only, I believe, on the PlayStation and PC, Steam, whatever. And now he is releasing a physical on October 30th. I actually talked with a guy who named the New Orleans. He named the New Orleans football team, and it's coming. It's supposed to be pretty solid if you like that type of stuff. I know RGT85 did a review of the game, so you might want to check his review out. But he didn't do the Switch review. He did a PC review. The guy, the publisher, actually offered me a PC code for it, but I told him, I'm like, dude, I might talk PC here and there, but I'm really not a PC person. Like, if you want to give me the Switch code or a game, then I can really review it, but there's no point in me talking to my audience about PC games because it would just be a waste of a code for you. Give it to someone else. Sorry.
Yeah.
And but yeah, Nick, it's coming. It's on the way, October 30th. And from what I've heard, it's a solid spiritual successor done by the same creator of the original from way back in the day. Now, let's get to what you were talking about. David, why don't you just give us your take on all the information presented.
Yeah, so earlier this week there was a headline or an article that was I guess, of course, social media can misconstrue a lot of things and offshoot topics, right? And there was a article in which it was misconstrued that Rockstar was proud to have put their employees through crunch time hell and forced them to work 100-hour weeks, and pretty much, social media went crazy with that, saying how they're a bunch of deviants and, they were just torturing their employees and whatnot. And look, man, I'm on both sides of the coin here.
Yeah, let me interject real quick.
Sure, yeah.
The way you presented it, I thought was a little skewed.
I'm not 100% sure the guy's name. The CEO, I believe, of Rockstar basically put out a tweet saying, "We've been working 100-hour weeks to get you your game." And that's then basically how you presented it. I felt that's how social media took it. So I just wanted to say he wasn't like boasting that, oh, we put them through hell. But he did say, we put them through 100-hour weeks to get this game to you.
Right. And that's where I said it got skewed to where people took it as how I presented it. But I mean, if I could just give both sides of the coin here, I see both sides. I mean, currently, personally, I work, and I'm sure you guys, I know William works like overnight, and Devin, you work pretty late as well with with your patients, man. I mean, my mom's in the same vein. She's a speech therapist, so she works with a lot of patients as well, and
Yeah. Hey, David's mom, shout out. I actually had a speech therapist when I was a kid, so thanks for all you do. I can now pronounce more words than I could a long time ago because of people like you.
Yeah, shout out. And so like at my work, for example, there's a deadline coming up for a job that needs to get approved by a professional engineer, and they promised the client that they would do that. I'm new, I'm 6 months in, but the guys told me that last year they had to work until 3 in the morning one day to meet a deadline. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it because they promised, and there's a seal, a professional engineer seal ensures that you're a man of your word, first of all, but also there's a lot of legal implications that if you don't get it out in time, blah 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 blah. But pretty much what I'm trying to allude to is that there is crunch time, and when you're working for these big corporations and the big guys and the big wigs or whatever, you have to make ends meet. You have to deliver by your promised date. I mean, Rockstar could have delayed, whatever. How many upset fans would come out of it, right? And then the marketing and all the marketing and everything that would be more campaigns for, like, let's say delayed it to like early next year. All the marketing campaign, all these things just kind of stack on top of each other. So what I'm trying to say here is crunch time is a thing, and it's inevitable a majority of the time. But there has been kind of like a witch hunt that I've seen on social media where they're saying, "Oh, Rockstar needs to be sued," and no one boycott Red Dead Redemption, and it's like, name your favorite company, anyone, Naughty Dog, Santa Monica Studios, they've had crunch time, and maybe they just didn't publicly say it, but it happens, and it happens every single day, and every time there's a big release of major tentpole. This is a major tentpole game. This happens more times than not, and I think that we just need to kind of step back a little bit and see it from that perspective. Albeit, I will say, if someone's being overworked, extra hours, I mean, it's kind of assumed that you're not going to be able to see your family. Your health's probably not going to be at tip top shape during that time. But it's like signing a contract. You kind of know crunch time's going to happen, and I mean, that's really my 2 cents on it.
All right, I have 2 cents as well, maybe even a nickel. But let's hear what everyone else has to say.
Well, I pretty much agree. I mean, especially with what I'm doing right now. I'm watching the contractors. They're rushing to try to get stuff done for the store. And we have next week is the last week doing the remodel, and they're trying to make sure that they're on schedule to get stuff done. And I think they're trying to get some people in to help as much as they can to get it finished. And yeah, if they have to stay extra, then they're just gonna have to stay extra to get it done. So I can see where they're coming from that. And that's also why you schedule things out and make sure you're getting everything done within the planned time constraints as well, so you don't end up getting that crunch time going. But sometimes you just can't avoid it.
Yeah, okay. Now, because you could argue that well, you should have given more time to you should have gave more time to do this, right? But then you say, well, okay, we should have, but we're living in reality, not in this pretend alternate universe where we did give ourselves more time. We have to do this. Okay, but that's fine. But this is the 4th time that we lived in this reality. Like, at what point do you actually schedule more time? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, in my job, they're always giving us time constraints for stuff, and sometimes it's not like they'll say, "Oh, it's going to take you 2 hours to get this done." Well, it's actually not, because the way it's all planned is screwed up. They're like, "Nope, you have to get it done in that time." Well, the next day it could be the exact same amount of work. They're still telling you it's 2 hours. Now you have half the people.
Mm-hmm.
So, exactly. And they're still no, it still has to get done within that time. So that could lead to down the road you're rushing and crunching, trying to get stuff done in time.
Yeah, so that's the problem. And I'm not like, I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit right at this second, but that's the problem with this. Well, you just have crunch time. You just have to do it, because if this was a one-time thing, if this was Rockstar's first ever 100-hour crunch time type thing, then okay. But if this is happening for every single one of their games, then it's like, well, what? I know you want to make money off the game, but maybe you should have given yourself another month. You know,
or even not be afraid to push a game back.
Yeah, but I get where David's saying, like, because once you do, like, your Target store has to open. It just has to open. Mm-hmm. And, like, at what point? So it's like, this is kind of one of those funny things. Let me hear Devin's point of view.
Well, when you were saying that the CEO, released that tweet saying that we've been working 100-hour weeks to get the game done, I see it as like they were probably, it was initially supposed to be a good thing, with like, oh, they're putting a lot of dedication and everything into it. And then the internet, just like normal, like when you go into like mainstream media news, people will say, okay, well, there's a flu outbreak here, as turn that into, we're all going to die. Yep. So it happens all the time. So, and on the basis of also what David was saying, yeah, there's crunch times in every job. Being a CNA, what I do, and sometimes having to take care of like 30 people at the same time, and you got 10 call bells going on the other side of the building, you just gotta, it's the basis of time management, kind of like what you were saying. If they said, okay, it's supposed to be out October, whatever, I can't remember the date, maybe they didn't give themselves enough time. But then also you got to think, like, these people are working a lot, so you never know when people got sick and then something happened. It's, I don't know, I think it's just being blown out of proportion from what they originally intended to say. We're putting a lot of dedication into this. We hope you all like it.
It may even be an exaggeration of how many hours as well.
True, yeah. I mean, I don't think he's going and say, like, counting to the exact minute. It's just
hours, ring the bell.
Yeah, I think the person was just trying to show the dedication that they're pouring into the game, which I think we can all see by the videos and whatever gameplay footage that we've already seen.
Yeah, horse testicles, right?
Yeah, well, that too. But
I agree with you there. That I definitely agree. I mean, I don't think he tweeted out thinking, oh, let me tweet this so I can rub it in everyone's face. He definitely probably was like, crap. That's what they took from that?
Yeah. It's like, he's not like he didn't take a picture of him with all the programmers chained to their desk and whipping them. That would be a different story. But I think it's just being blown out of proportion.
Yeah. It's like, I posted a picture on my Facebook page yesterday and ended up removing it because I had 3 people not get what I meant with the joke. It was a picture from the men's room for up above where the baby station is.
I saw that.
Yes, and everyone's and it's mentioning the feeding station that I guess I don't know where it is. I haven't seen where it is right now, but there's a feeding station, and the first thing that came to my mind is a big burly man, got his baby. No, he's got to go to the feeding station, and I just thought it was funny that this sign was in the men's room. And everyone's like, well, there are guys that have their wives with them too, And then one of my ex-girlfriends mentions, like, well, what about a transgender man? I'm like, That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, you were trying to go there. It's like,
no, I wasn't trying to go there at all.
I would say
that just shows how
I just took it down. I took it down because people weren't getting it.
I would say in regards to this whole situation with Rockstar. Now, I'm a bit okay. So I'll get it. Oh, this might be like if I had to title this episode, "Learn Too Much About Ken." Okay, so here's the deal with me. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've explained it a couple times on my channel, but every time I try to, I just cut all the footage and delete it. I'm like, yeah, no one really wants to hear that crap. But it does explain some bits about myself. I was totally normal up until I was about 31 years old, right? 31. And I just worked all the time. Now, I willingly, though, worked. There was pressure on me to work, or there would have been pressure on me to work had I not just loved it so much and I kind of just allowed it to happen. And I would say my superiors probably should have not allowed me to work as much as I wanted to. And I eventually, I did crack. I literally cracked. I don't know. I tell people I just went crazy. I had a mental breakdown. I had to go see therapists. I had to go get medication. I would never even take headache medicine. I was so against medication, and now I'm just on it. And I was diagnosed with severe anxiety, severe OCD. At one point, I'm washing my hands with bleach. All right, so this is a straight up mental disease that I've acquired because of lots of things from my past or whatever, things I don't remember, I repressed, but it definitely was this overworked atmosphere that I put myself in because there was this thing called Life Remodeled that I did. I was trying to shoot a pilot for a TV. We're trying to get something on TV, and what we did was we gathered this group of people. We tore down a house and rebuilt it. We got a bunch of volunteers. We raised $150,000 for a house and all this stuff. And I filmed it, 7 days worth of footage. I edited it within a 30-day time period to get it put in a local theater. Now, I hope none of you guys think I'm rich or anything. We literally just were relying on the charity of people. And this was I didn't get paid anything for it, but we were trying to do something. And I worked myself to the point. Now, I had worked myself a lot before that. But in this 30-day period, or I worked those 120-hour days trying to get this. And I remember one of my bosses said, "Can you do this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I can totally do it." He's like, "No, seriously, can you do it? Do we need to cancel?" But I was not willing to cancel. So I said, "No, we're good." Well, after that whole ordeal, I basically cracked. And I've really never fully 100% recovered from that. I still now, there's things that I'm just antsy about. Yeah, I don't wash my hands with bleach anymore. That was just totally insane. And my therapist would say, "Oh no, you're not supposed to call yourself crazy." I'm like, "Lady, I'm crazy. Let's just figure it out and deal with it." And so I do get that people, they put themselves in these situations where you can overwork yourself. And as a human, there is a breaking point. And so now I'm a big advocate of, take a break. Don't come in if you're you can just be stressed out and just use that as a sick day, whatever it may be. Thankfully, I was able to slowly recover and get to a point of somewhat being normal. Unfortunately, a couple years back, again, I kind of cracked. And at that time, though, I wasn't really overworked. It just happened. And that's the thing. When you crack one time, it's easier to crack a second time. Just like anything. You break something once, it's easier to break again. You can glue it back together, but it's easy to break again. And so but I see where they're coming for with this Red Dead game. And yeah, he definitely didn't mean to make it sound like he was probably boasting look at the hard work we're doing for you guys. Right. We really want you to enjoy this game. And so we are putting in the extra hours. And there is crunch time. There is. Even to this day, I know when there is crunch time. But it's so important that these employees are in communication with their bosses and taking care of themselves. Because you know what? That boss,
cannot worry, the Rockstar boss cannot worry about the individual mental health of everybody on a micro level. They can only really worry about them on a macro level. And what leads up to this 100-hour crunch time? Well, 3 months ago, those people needed to take their vacations and do their things that they needed to do. Because you're right, it is a tentpole. If this game flops, Rockstar flops. And that's how I see it. From somebody who actually, literally experienced a mental breakdown 2 times because I put myself in a situation. You know, that's how it is. And to this day, like, when I produce, like, I have a full-time job, I have a wife, I have a kid, and then I'm trying to start a YouTube channel. I've literally had to stop just trying to do a video every day because I was like, I'm just going to do that same crap to myself again. You know what I mean? It's just, it is Rockstar's responsibility, but it's more so the person who is putting in those 100-hour weeks. He's going to have to. You're going to have to put in the 100-hour weeks the week or two leading up to the game, no doubt. But there was plenty of time for you to get that vacation or this or that. And I know a lot of this is probably coming out because of what the stories of Telltale Games is. I guess that was a company that really worked their people to death and stuff. I mean, people, you gotta just quit the job. I'm sorry. You just gotta go somewhere else sometimes or put your resumes in someplace else. You can't just... It's hard because, oh, well, easy for you to say. Yeah, not so much because I mean, that's why I moved to Texas. Because I had to find another job that I could actually work with my kind of mental condition and state it is. I mean, it's tough, it's scary, but it is what it is. Does that, like, I don't know, too much information?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Questions? Did I explain that proper? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because earlier I mentioned I was on both sides of the coin. I gave I gave earlier my first side where it's like, hey, you know, don't burn Rockstar at the stake, you know. But now I'm gonna say, you know, as a Smash fan, you guys know Smash is my favorite franchise of all time. I know how toxic and how ugly Smash fans can get. I don't put myself in this boat at all because like I said, I respect Sakurai so much. He's literally one of my heroes. The man has, I think, driven himself to the brink of death several times.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
he's overworked himself quite a few times.
He developed tinnitus by controlling 2 GameCube controllers at the same time. That he actually had to work with a cursor ball and like a joystick in order to play because he developed tennis elbow. He has checked himself into the hospital several times, and he's literally bent himself backwards to get certain IPs into Smash, like Snake and Sonic and Cloud. And it never seems to be enough for Smash fans.
No, yeah.
You're always, if you look at the message boards, if you look at the replies to Smash tweets and Smash videos on YouTube, people are always clamoring why their character didn't get in,
hey man,
or why
I did
this
2
isn't
videos
that.
on Waluigi, so yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and that's, I understand that because I would love to see Banjo in Smash, but Sakurai has already made my dreams come true 10 years ago with the inclusion of Sonic in Smash. So it's like sometimes, like you said, there is a breaking point. There is a point where you just have to kind of step back.
I worry for Sakurai. I seriously worry for Sakurai, but he seems to be kind of like, I hate to compare myself to him. He seems to be kind of like me, where I'm like, where I want it to just work more and more and more to the point where I'll just work till I break. Then I'll take a 2-day vacation. And that's kind of like what Sakurai is. I heard that Nintendo has literally put him, say, you can't work weekends, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I respect that a lot of Nintendo doing that. And I think Sakurai, though, you know, there is some responsibility on his part. He needs to, like, chill out, dude, you got a family. Or if you don't have a family, you got yourself to worry about. But
on the same token, I love all the effort he's put into it. And you're right, we just want more and more and more. And I don't even.
It shows.
It's just
It
crazy.
shows. It clearly, the quality clearly shows if you look at that game. I mean, the Ultimate really is the ultimate game for Smash. I mean, 900 tracks, like over it's over 100 stages, and if you count the variants, there's 300 stages, and it's just at this point, it's like, what else could you ask for? Yeah, I want Gino. Yeah, I want Isaac, and yeah, I want Banjo, but 70 other characters are going to make me happy. So it's like,
I mean, Gino, with that one, like, he's been trying to get him in.
Mhm.
Like, he really wants to get him in, and he's been trying to get the rights to actually include him. So that's why, so that's why I'm always like, I want to see Gino in there. But if he'd never been trying, I'd be like, okay, that's cool. He's not in it.
Yeah, it's Square Enix. Square Enix owns Gino.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm not gonna be one of the ones like, oh, I really want Goku in there. So, oh, what's a character I don't like? Oh, Pichu. Why is Pichu there? Why is Pichu taking up a slot for Goku? Like,
I know. It's a shake my head moment, but it's like, and I look, man, I'm not a controversial person in real life or on the internet. But every time I see someone complaining, like a Smash fan, like, where's Waluigi? When I'm not talking about you, Ken. I know that most of it was in jest, and I would love Waluigi. I think he needs to be in Smash, but I go after people that are like complaining about why a certain Final Fantasy character, a very obscure Final Fantasy character, is in there. It's like, look, man, we have Cloud. I mean, like, if anything, he's probably the most iconic Final Fantasy character. Is that not enough? You know, it's like, I get so, and a lot of them are kids, you know, so it's like, why do I waste my time arguing with children? But
and it's not at the same level. But there was that Cartoon Network fighting game that came out.
Oh yeah.
And the company that was working on that, I was actually chatting with people on their Facebook page when they were working on the roster for the game. And I brought up a character that they were like, wait, that would be cool to include. We have to see if we can get the rights. And that was Tom from Toonami.
Oh,
they were going to try and see if they could get Tom in there. And I'm assuming they couldn't get the rights to include him because, no, he's not in the game.
Well, that just means it's the worst game of all time.
But it was a character that they were like, yeah, let's see if we could get that. That could be worth putting in there because that is a part of our history.
Yeah, Tom, and then also Superbot Games, the people who made PlayStation All-Stars or whatever, they were also getting a lot of heat because they had Raiden and they didn't have Snake in there, and they didn't have
the characters that didn't get included. What was his name? Dart from Legend of Dragoon. They were going to get him in there, and he wasn't included.
Yeah, and they never got like other characters that I could probably list right now. But it's, yeah, I mean, the internet has its sides of things. It has the good and the bad.
I think, like I said, on the whole subject with Rockstar, this one, I say totally out of proportion. It's a real thing, and people do kill themselves. People just got to remember, if you are working yourself to death for a job that will replace you in 2 weeks, just find another job. Like, seriously, just find another job. It's not worth it. And I don't think this is the case with Rockstars. I think this was just crunch time. They probably did put in 100-hour weeks, but that doesn't faze me. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Now, if they do that 6 weeks for the next 6 weeks after it's revealed or after it's released, well, then just find another job, people. I mean, seriously, just find another job. Put in your resume other places while you work those 100-hour weeks. And it's easy to say, but it's also not that hard to do.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how people react to it when they announce DLC for the game, depending on how far out they announce it. Because if they announce it like the beginning of next year, is that enough time for people to say, well, was some of that 100 hours working on some of that DLC?
Yeah, they got to already be working on DLC. Man, I wish I got this game. All this talk about them, I probably should have been like more worried about mental health, but I'm just worried about the fact that I don't get to play Red Dead 2 because I don't have a PS4 or an Xbox. I guess it's coming out on PC also, but I'm not part of the master race, so I don't play a PC.
Yeah, I don't play on PC either. I have like select few games I have on the PC, and that's about it.
Do they count for your game collection?
No, I don't include digital.
Oh!
No, nothing digital is included on that list.
Have you got any new games? Because what were we at, like 1592 or something last week?
That Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur.
I ordered Starlink for in-store pickup, so I might pick that up tonight.
I want. You think Link will ever make a return to Soul Calibur? Because of the GameCube version,
that would be interesting. Yeah, if they do a GameCube version, they could include him. Like I could see him replacing the Witcher 3 character.
Do an Ultimate Soul Calibur. And we got about 20 minutes left. I just want to thank the patrons real quick. We got Jordan, who is the Wii U newsletter guy. And you can download, if you look at the link below, you can actually download number 1, number 2. Devin is in the latest edition, and I think the newsletter is really cool. If you guys haven't read it, you should definitely check it out after the show or something. I think it's really unique. He actually does reviews of these of these like obscure like Wii U digital games and stuff, and I like his reviews. I don't think I do very good reviews on things. I'm like, it's good and colorful, and I like the music. I just don't think I do good reviews, and I enjoyed his. And then he has games, and he's like, here's a Wii U fact. I don't know. I just think it's really good, and he does it for free. He doesn't get any money for this stuff. He just does it out of the kindness of his own heart and his love for the Wii U. So much respect there. Hashtag autism awareness. That is the dude that he said, don't say my name, just hashtag it. And then we got Nicholas and Paul Cobb. Paul Cobb, is he still with the family right now?
Yeah, I think he's probably out right now. I haven't seen him posting today.
All right. So thank you for that, guys. What was I going to say? Anybody shoot a topic. Devin, off the top of your head, give me something.
Has anybody played the Luigi's Mansion, like I think JR mentioned before, on the 3DS yet?
Not yet. I played the original, but I haven't played the 3DS version.
The original is my favorite. I want to get the new one, but I also can't find my 3DS charger. So I think I might need to buy a new one. But that's the only thing really stopping me there. Besides the fact that in the past week, I bought Starlink, the DC Lego game, the Supervillains, and Dark Souls. So I'm kind of bogged down in games right now.
Yeah. Do you guys also find it? Did you guys find the reveal of Luigi's Mansion 3 to be kind of like just too quick?
Too early.
Too early?
No, they didn't even have like a tentative title for it yet. I mean,
yeah, it's like the game looks far off in my opinion.
Number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's a teaser, kind of like how they did the Metroid 4 teaser.
I think they just wanted to throw it out there because they were like, okay, we're releasing the 3DS version of the original one, so let's just put this out there too, so people get hype.
But it's like, yeah, it's more like. So I knew the game was kind of coming because of rumors and stuff, but I think it didn't have like oomph to it, and it was revealed. It wasn't like oh my god. And not just because the surprise factor was gone, but probably just because it was like, it just didn't feel hyped up for some reason. And I don't really think, I'm not referring to the level of development it's had. Like it looks okay. It looks fine.
It's one of those series where it's like people enjoy the series, but it's not one people hype up like Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
No, for me, it's hype. I mean, I love Luigi's Mansion. So as soon as I saw Luigi's Mansion 3, I was so happy.
I mean, if they suddenly announced Star Tropics coming back, I'd be jumping out of my seat. Going,
yeah. Earthbound, man.
It's in that vein of the niche people are totally going to, like, geek out. I guess I didn't really think about whether or not it got the proper reveal or was revealed too soon. Because to me, I was just like, oh, but it seems like it's one of those, like when Metroid 4 was revealed. Yeah, you could say that was probably a little too soon, but they just revealed the logo and stuff, and it's just one of those things like almost with a Nintendo IP, all you got to do is say, "Oh yeah, this is coming," and it's like, "Whoa!" That core fan base.
Well, they did the exact same thing with Metroid and Bayonetta, and I don't know. But on what David was just saying, if they ever release Earthbound again, I'm pretty sure we're going to be on the brink of the apocalypse.
Yeah, so. I was watching a video about the Mother and Earthbound franchise, and it's like Mother 3 never got a US release and all that jazz, and it's like it's another one of those things, man. It's a creator's vision or whatever. Otoy, I forgot his name, but his name is Otoy something, but he feels like they were saying how when he was neck deep in this franchise, he was making this game because he missed his daughter who went off to college and stuff, and you know, he was making these stories because he was remembering how it was to enjoy her childhood with him, and he was, he made Mother 1 and Mother 2, or I don't even know the order of the series because it's like Earthbound is Mother 2 or whatever, but
that's how it is.
Anyway, and he said, well, my daughter is no longer in school. I see her all the time. So there's no hankering for me to make that another title. And it's like, you kind of relate to that because if he connected this franchise to his family and he no longer feels inspired, then it's really, at this point for him, it would probably just be like an uninspired cash grab, I guess, because there's no telling how successful it's going to be. It's going to be successful.
But the thing is it would only be successful for the old school guys like us that have played it in the past. New generation to coming to Mother and Earthbound as we know it here, I don't think it would really catch on as well.
I disagree. At this point, look at Undertale. It's straight up Earthbound 4. It's I think anything can survive in today's world, tell you the truth. And I do get what you're saying though, and it has a high potential of just not succeeding. And you're right, maybe it's a cash grab. Maybe this is one of the times where the creator needs to just hand over the keys to the kingdom to someone else. Because I definitely feel that there is somebody out there who doesn't have to be missing their daughter in order to produce the next great Earthbound game. And it's just, Nintendo knows it's a popular IP. They put him and Lucas in Smash Brothers, so I'm surprised it's just a thing that they don't really.
And I think it's like a legal thing too, because I watch some Smash streamers, people on Twitch that play Smash all the time, and for a moment in time, you couldn't, if you played as Lucas or Ness and you won, there's like this fanfare at the end. You couldn't stream that song because of legal rights or whatever. So it's like, and then Mother has always had legal issues when it comes to music and stuff. So it's like, or maybe it's the IP, but it's like maybe Nintendo can't do anything to the franchise because it's Otoy's thing or whatever. So it's weird, man. It's really weird, and it just makes it worse of the fact that we had Earthbound 64 in development at one time.
Yeah.
And we're never going to see. Well, I can't say never because anything can happen.
Yeah,
but
what if it's the 21st game in the GameCube Mini? Or
that's what I'm thinking. Mini. Yeah, it's like maybe we get an extended demo or something, and kind of like Star Fox 2, where it's like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but it's. They
did release Earthbound 1 on the. Or Mother 1 on the Wii U digital only as Earthbound
Beginnings. Yeah.
Beginnings, yeah.
Yeah. And man, that would be so cool if we had a Earthbound, and the next Earthbound title was kind of like Ni no Kuni or something, where it's in that vein, cool. And you can use different people in your party and use different PK spells or whatever, and that'd be so cool,
As for what they could include on that 64 mini, I think it would probably be most likely they would include the Ocarina of Time Master Quest.
Oh, yeah.
As a bonus.
That would sell. Both actually would just sell it like crazy, but
I always look up things about Zelda and Earthbound 64, where it's like, what could have been, and there's two sides of the coin for people that say that Zelda was just Master Quest, and other people that say that Zelda was just a completely different thing with different temples and different mechanics and stuff. It's so cool to see. I don't know. What do you guys think about? Do you guys know about the Zelda stuff?
Remind us.
Yeah.
So there was like an expansion being developed for the Ocarina of Time for the 64 double disc drive in Japan, and with the lack of success that the double disc drive had, it was essentially canceled. But it was kind of labeled as like an expansion to Ocarina of Time, but with like network functions. So like Miyamoto was saying that if you sliced like a signpost, it would be also sliced for someone else that was in like the online sphere of things too. He was just using that as an example. They were also saying that like scrapped temples from Ocarina of Time were going to be in the game too. Like there was supposed to be like a wind temple and like a light temple or something. Which is, I don't know, man. I could get into this. This is really, it's just conceptually though. It's really intriguing. But
yeah, it seems like a really neat
people
game.
were saying, people have speculated that Zelda is actually Master Quest that you see on the GameCube, or people also say that Zelda is just Majora's Mask. It actually became a game. But it's tough to say. It's tough to say what their original vision was.
Yeah, I mean, if it was just the Master's Quest, I mean, it's just the Master Quest is just a harder version. So there's really like all you just did is up the difficulty. And if it was Zelda or Majora's Mask, then I don't know. I don't think it would probably fall in line with the Satella view for the Super Nintendo.
The BS Zelda, yeah.
Yeah, that was more or less broadcast network where certain time you had to have the internet, and believe it or not, Nintendo was the forerunner of the internet consoles, and you had to have the internet, and then an hour a week you could play Zelda via the broadcast signal would shoot down the signal to your system, Super Nintendo Satellaview, and then you could play a Zelda game that was either a hard version of Legend of Zelda 1, a semi-sequel, actually, because it took place 6 months after the events of Link to the Past, and then there was a third one as well. And that it had its own voice actors and all this stuff. It's really crazy. And I think that's what would have happened with the version that you're talking about, something along the lines of it's kind of the same, because they used the same exact world of Link to the Past, and they probably would have used the same exact world to the what you were just talking about, as opposed to just upping the difficulty or creating, because they use the same engine for sure on Majora's Mask, but it's pretty much a different world, or at least a different region, because you don't get the Hyrule Castle, you don't get this, you don't get that. It's all you really get is a lot of the same skins for the characters and that are set in a different world. If that all makes sense.
Yeah, and I know we're running out of time, but do you guys, if Zelda and Earthbound 64 and all the prototype canceled games exist somewhere, do you think they exist in a Nintendo vault of some sort?
Yes.
And
I would think,
And what do you think this vault is? Do you think it's just some type of like storage room, or do you think it's in Miyamoto's like closet that's the size of our house or something? I
think that vault is where Miyamoto sleeps in a hyper chamber that keeps him alive, and he's hooked up to like puppies that he absorbs their essence.
Yeah. That's where all the dead Nintendogs went.
Yeah, all the Nintendogs that you haven't been feeding, Miyamoto lives off of them.
Why do you think there wasn't a Cocker Spaniel version?
Oh my god. Alrighty.
All right. So,
wow.
but yeah, I do believe that. I mean, I think Nintendo, like, they love their history and stuff so much that they've kept probably everything, with the exception of maybe the Super PlayStation. Because, like, if that thing exists, if someone found an existing copy of a PlayStation Super Nintendo hybrid, then I'm sure this hybrid of the Zelda whatever exists somewhere out there.
Yeah. Now and also I don't know if you guys remember, but earlier this summer, the beta for the Space World 97 version of Pokemon Gold and Silver was leaked on the internet.
Yes.
And that made my entire week. It was so cool how
walk it back. Tell us what this is all about.
So pretty much the forums have theorized for 20 years, literally, of an image that was taken at Space World 1997 of when they were showcasing Pokemon Gold and Silver, of this image that had Pokemon that looked a little bit different, and you know, like the internet does, they take it and they run with it, and these forums have theorized that, you know, this Pokemon is different, and there's a whole slew of scrapped Pokemon if this is true. And of course, I don't know how these things work, I don't know. Pretty much it was theorized that this ROM of that Space World demo was either stolen or sold to a collector, and the collector died in Japan, and then that person that got that ROM from the person who died released it on the internet, and the forums went nuts. They dissected it. They actually made it into a full-fledged game, and there's like all 150 Pokemon from the second generation,
plus ones that we hadn't even seen before.
Right?
Yeah,
they were
baby Meowth actually.
Baby Meowth. There's a baby a Ditto evolution.
Mm-hmm. I like the far-fetched evolution too.
I was gonna say the far-fetched evolution, I think, is Lugia, is current day Lugia.
Yeah, so absolutely crazy.
It's just crazy
happened, because it's like, here's something, it was just a snapshot, and then Nintendo for whatever reason didn't go with it, and so it was a teaser but if you weren't there, and this wasn't a time of everybody whipping out their phone to take a picture of somebody, so that one person who took that picture kept this spawned 20 years of theories, and you know how it is. That stuff's never true. Well, this one was.
Yeah.
And so just absolutely, yeah, that was crazy. That came out this year, and yeah, it's interesting for those facts, and that kind of like, one day will somebody ever walk out with it 24 karat gold Game Boy Zelda SP that I was talking about.
Yeah.
So, Paul Cobb, what's up, my man? How are you today? Hoping you're doing well. We have about 2 minutes left of the show. So, man, good show, guys, today. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody in the chat as well. You guys make it. One last question for you guys. What is your satisfying video game moment? We'll close it out with that, because I did a video, 25 satisfying moments. Give me one. Someone.
I think being up late at night with the cousins from the other side of the family, my dad's side of the family, beating Super Mario World.
Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. You guys, all right? Devin?
Satisfying moment probably back in the day, on the same vein of Mario, of playing Mario Party with my friends for hours on end and just having a good old time.
What's your favorite Mario Party?
Probably 4 at this point.
Hey, me too.
That's the one I remember playing the most.
Me too. All right, and David, satisfying moment. Video game moment.
Satisfying moment's probably, if I can just think one, it's when young Link turns into Big Link in Ocarina of Time. He pulls his Master Sword out and essentially turns 7 years older. That's pretty satisfying, if you ask me.
Yeah, that would be.
True.
I'm going to do another one of those videos. That could probably make it. I might even do a video of 100 satisfying Zelda moments. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out, though, because there's, I'd have to go back, and I'd probably have to play Skyward Sword, because I don't know I've not gotten too far in Skyward Sword. So, but all right, everyone, it is, you know, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I still need to figure out a way to get this on an actual podcast type, I don't know, website that people can just get to it. I mean, I put all these podcasts in a video playlist on YouTube, so if you are watching this, you can literally watch and listen to all of these podcasts that we've done on YouTube. However, I do know that it might be better to get it on something that is tailored towards podcasts only. So that is in the works, but stick with me. I finally got us to go on air today with no problems at all. 11th time is the charm, people. So, hey, though, seriously, if I can plug a video, go check out my mom naming Smash Brothers characters. I thought that was hilarious.
That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, my mom. Oh, man. Kangaroo Girl. That's my favorite. So, hey, but everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We're here 11 Eastern Standard Time every single Saturday, and we just appreciate you, and we have a good time nerding out with you. We hope you do as well. It's dangerous to alone. Please share this video with a friend, and thank you, everyone. Seriously, thank you.